Howdy and namaste everyone. My name is Parth and welcome to the Karma Yogi podcast, where we discuss how to attract extraordinary success and become a better version of ourselves every day. Let's jump into today's question. Is tension good or bad? My short answer is yes. Tension is actually a good thing. Let me explain this by sharing the story of Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl, celebrated Austrian psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, went through the gruesome and tragic experience of slave labor at Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz. He ended up losing his wife, parents, and other family members in these camps as well. Frankl mainly survived because of tension. When he first arrived at Auschwitz, he was forced to surrender his unpublished manuscript on logotherapy. Over the course of his time in the 4 concentration camps in which he was held captive, Frankl realized that he badly wanted to rewrite this manuscript, and further that he wanted to write another manuscript to discuss human psychology within such camps. Frankl focused his thoughts toward the manuscript when he found himself struggling and used it as a way to keep himself motivated to stay alive. For instance, when one of his camps was infected with typhoid, Frankl wrote keywords from his manuscript on scraps of paper in order to keep his mind active and alert. In other words, his unfinished work is what kept him sane and inclined towards survival. In the second half of his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl uses the manuscript to symbolize hope for the future and emphasizes the importance of having something outside of oneself to live for. He explains the significance of tension in these words. Thus, it can be seen that mental health is based on a certain degree of tension. The tension between what one has already achieved and what one still ought to accomplish, or the gap between what one is and what one should become. Such a tension is inherent in the human being and therefore is indispensable to mental well-being. We should not then be hesitant about challenging man with a potential meaning for him to fulfill. It is only thus that we evoke his will to meaning from its state of latency. I consider it a dangerous misconception of mental hygiene to assume that what man needs in the first place is equilibrium, or, as it is called in biology, homeostasis, that is, a tensionless state. What man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for a worthwhile goal, a freely chosen task. What he needs is not a discharge of tension at any cost, but the call of a potential meaning waiting to be fulfilled by him. Tension is your friend. Tension is what keeps you alive and wants you to grow and become better. Absence of tension leads to an existential vacuum that breeds boredom and complacency, and the need to escape boredom and apathy further manifests as depression, drug and alcohol addiction, aggression, and acts of violence and crime. Frankl clarifies that all these acts are essentially the outcomes of the human quest to fulfill the desire to find meaning in life. Perceive tension as an advantage, not an obstacle. As Darren Hardy remarks, if there is tension in your life, if there is some deep worry about living a worthy life, then that's good. That tension and worry is a part of a well-lived, high-achieving life. Instead of despising and dreading tension, start thriving on it, because it's crucial for attracting extraordinary success and living an exceptional life enriched with meaning and purpose. It's time for the Gratitude Attitude segment. This week, I want to express my gratitude towards a book that I'm reading presently. The book is Life's Amazing Secrets: How to Find Balance and Purpose in Your Life, and it's written by Gaur Gopal Das. Das is one of the most popular and sought after monks and life coaches in the world. He has shared his wisdom with millions of people via his talks and his viral YouTube videos. I've reached at the halfway point of the book right now, and I must say that I have come across some really beautiful and life-changing insights already. Also, it's an easy read. The language is simple and the stories and the respective lessons are quite straightforward and digestible. If you can get your hands on this book, do read it. You'll not regret it and end up learning a lot in a short time frame. I hope this episode added immense value to you. If you would like to ask me a question or have any comments or suggestions, write an email or send a voice memo to podcast@thekarmayogi.blog. And if you want even more helpful tips to create an extraordinary life and become a better version of yourself every day, plus some personal insights and updates from me that I only share in email, come over to thekarmayogi.blog and make sure you sign up for my email newsletter. Focus on your actions and let go of the outcomes, because success is a journey, not a destination, and we need to keep working towards it every single day. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.